Hello YouTube, Ziggy back. I want to go over in this video 5 great resources that I recommend for everybody in the hobby, but probably most importantly for people who are new to the hobby. And the reason I say this is that I know there's a lot of people coming into the hobby or reintroduced to the hobby, and there's a lot of information out there and a lot of people are recommending stuff. So if I was new and I was just coming back to the hobby, these are the 5 websites I wish I understood more, and I hope that you will get a chance to kind of review and spend some time on. First, focus on is the Cardboard Connection. This is a premier website. Everybody knows about the Cardboard Connection. What I like about here is they have information on products. They have a release calendar. They have links to eBay auctions. They have the top releases as far as articles. I mean, just everything. These guys are the place to go, in my opinion, when it comes to sports cards and knowing what's going on. My only complaint is that often the release calendar isn't up to date, and that's a lot of times because manufacturers are changing things so fastly. So they might be a little bit lag behind on what they're showing, but this is still a phenomenal website, and I highly recommend. Make sure you bookmark the Cardboard Connection. Another great resource for hobby people, if you're back to the hobby or new to the hobby, is Blowout Cards forums. I think it's just called blowoutforums.com. Now, I'll be honest, I read a lot on Blowout forums. I do not participate a lot. And I think that's because to me, the forums are sometimes a little intimidating, I guess is the word I'm looking for. There's some great information. In fact, one thing I recommend is they have up-to-date information on the releases. They have information on what's going on in retail, what hits have come out. It's just the kind of the pulse is in Blowout forums. So whether you like or love or hate Blowout, I do recommend Blowout forums. Again, if you're new to the hobby, please check these guys out. You'll get a lot of good information and meet a lot of people. The next really good website that I recommend is Group Break Checklist. Now, this is a website that originally I came across it as a guy who's in a lot of breaks. And I'll just say you don't have to be in breaks to appreciate this website. They give you the breakdown of the checklist by player, by team, by hits, by a lot of different ways, right? And they have a lot of good information on here about breakers, about breaking. I think it's just great to understand your checklist. If you're breaking a product, if you're buying a new product and someone's opening it for you, if you're going to look at what's coming out, you really should know the checklist. You should know what potential cards are going to be in that to get. So big fan of Group Break Checklist. Now, I will mention Cardboard Connections has a checklist as well. I like the way that Group Break breaks everything down, the different ways they display the information. So that's why I recommend these guys as one of the top 5 websites to know. Another great website, and I'm going to tell you, I've followed breaker culture for years. When I came back into the hobby, one thing I got into really fast was breaks, and I liked their website because they did a lot of product reviews and breaker reviews. What I will say is that they've changed a lot in the years since I've used them, and it does look like a lot more content is membership driven. You have to join, and again, I honestly haven't spent a lot of time. I don't know their Discord channel, if it costs money or not, the Patreon channel, but I do think there's still a great resource for getting information on breakers, on breaks, on what's going on in the hobby. They do a prism ladder that I like to see that kind of shows you the value of certain cards. So again, big fan of breaker culture, and still one of my top 5 websites I think you can use as a good resource for information. The last website that I recommend that if you're new to the hobby that you're going to have to get in, bookmark it, get to understand it, is eBay. And that might become, pretty obvious to most people, but it really is the lifeblood of the hobby. When people talk about comps or selling cards, eBay is what really drives most everything in the marketplace. Okay, there are some exceptions to that. And what I want to point out here is I've pulled up a search for Panini Mosaic box, and I also put this on sold. So as you scroll down here on the left-hand side, these are items completed, items sold. So I'm looking at sold. Now, I'm not going to go into this talking about whether it's paid for or not, but I think this is important. You need to know how to define sold because those are considered comps. I will mention that eBay is not the only resource. There are some other great websites, 130 Point, Card Snoop are other ones that I'll mention, and I'll look at making some videos on those later on. But again, if you're in the hobby, new to the hobby, or getting back, these are the 5 websites that I recommend you bookmark. Again, Cardboard Connection with great information on products, hobbies, articles, breakers, blowout forums, great conversation from collectors, investors, dealers, talking about what's going on in the hobby, group break checklist, great insight and research on the product that's coming out, what's in the product, whose autographs are in it, what refractors, what parallels. You want to know the product that you're either buying, breaking, or chasing. Breaker culture, again, great resources I mentioned before for breaking, for getting reviews on products. You can even give your own reviews. They do some contests. And then last but not least, huge fan, well, I'd say not fan, but huge user of eBay, right? The lifeblood of the hobby. And I'd say, if you took eBay out of the page, the hobby wouldn't be the same. So again, hope this was a good use of your time. Thank you for checking out my YouTube channel, Ziggy Now. Please subscribe and look forward to more videos in the future. Stay healthy.